Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sahabat rahasia Islam dimanapun Anda berada, senang sekali rasanya saya bisa hadir dan menyapa Anda kembali di hari Minggu yang berkah ini. Semoga Anda semua dalam keadaan sehat ya. Pada kesempatan kali ini saya akan mereaksi sebuah video yang sangat menarik yang bersumber dari channel Satu Ayat. Sebuah kisah nyata seorang pemimpin kartel terbesar diselamatkan oleh adanya agama Islam. Lalu seperti apa kisah ini sahabat muslim? Maka simak ulasan video ini selengkapnya.
You are actually a high-ranking member in the cartel.
Yeah, I belong to several cartels. Before I went to jail, I worked for first for a small cartel down in Mexico City. I ended up going to jail, and then I ended up going back to the cartels, working for a bigger organization because of what I did inside of jail. You know, what I had, the reputation I had earned inside of prison. My family's Christian, right? I grew up in a Christian church, going to a Baptist church. But something happened when I was really young. My family got torn apart. My father ended up in state prison. What he did to our family, he broke our family apart, right? I was really mad at the time because like I would say to myself, like I would see my mom was going to church, and she would always take us to church, and I would say like, well, why did this happen to us if my mom was looking for God, you know? Wondering like why would you guys worship a human being, you know? What was so special of him to be crucified, to be killed? I was too young, no, to see what had happened, what my father had done in my family, the way that he had destroyed my family, you know. And I was like, I had to leave the U.S. and I had to just try to like look for something different. I came down to Mexico. Life was really hard, right? Because it's a third world country. There's not a lot of money. So I like a lot of people ask me like, why did you join? Like, did you join because of you needed money, you needed power? I didn't. The government is so corrupt down here, and like society is so corrupt. They killed him in front of his kids, right? They gunned him down in front of his kids.
This friend of yours?
Yeah, this friend of mine. When this happened, like I had a lot of anger in my heart. I wanted to get revenge for what happened, right? So I got in contact with the people that he was working for, and they were like, "Do you have experience? Like, what have you done?" And like I told them, "Well, I have experience. I'm not scared." And they're like, "All right, then let's go." They took me. They gave me equipment. They gave me people, and I started working, you know. And when I started getting involved in this, you know, I started like growing because I was not afraid, you know. I've always been like that type of, I've always had that type of warrior mentality. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die fighting, you know. But I ended up in a situation where I got caught up, you know. I got caught up with weapons and with some drugs, you know. I got caught by the Mexican government. I went into prison, right? And I would see a lot of like I started seeing a lot of weird things, you know, like down here in Mexico, there's no what they believe in. A lot of people believe in the holy death, right? Have you heard of that? Have you heard of her?
En la hora y el momento,
Madre mía,
mi santa muerte,
mi santa muerte,
yo como el más humilde de tus hijos,
yo como el más humilde de tus hijos,
te pido,
te
ruego,
me
permitas llegar ante ti.
permitas llegar ante ti.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I started believing in the holy death because like I would see that a lot of people that would help me out were believers in her. When I came out, I joined a very large organization, and I spent a lot of time doing things I wasn't supposed to. I started growing in there, but at the same time, I started seeing that when you're no longer required, you're gonna get cut off by the same people. And like my mentality was in that I knew I was gonna die there. I knew that my life was gonna end fighting and belonging to these cartels. I've been really close to death a lot of times. But what actually started scaring me was that. But what was there to come after death? Like I started noticing a lot of things. Allah sent me a dream before I left the organization, and I saw myself getting killed by my own people, right? By the own people that I was working for. I didn't know about God. I really didn't believe in it, but I just said like out of nowhere, like I just had to leave, you know. I had that necessity in my heart just to leave. Like, what are you doing? Like you're gonna die for something that has no value. You're gonna die for people that are not loyal to you. So I decided to leave, like out of nowhere, just got up, left in the morning. Like when they woke up, they were looking for me like crazy because I had a lot of people that were working for me. and I had control over some large territory of that cartel. I ended up in a small city, renting a small room, had nothing, just by myself, and I really didn't know what was the purpose of my life. I didn't know why I was still alive when I had to be dead, right? And I started falling into depression because of what I had and what I did. And I had that little voice like, you're a coward, like you're a coward. I thought you were gonna die for those people. I thought you were gonna die in the fight, you know? That's like, I felt really lost, like really, really lost, man. And I started getting scared because like of the whispers I would hear. Like I couldn't find peace. Like I couldn't find something, you know? And it got to the point where I sat down in my bed and I was thinking of like, should I kill myself, man? Like I have not done anything beneficial for no one here in this life. I just closed my eyes and I said, like, I don't know if you really exist or if you're hearing me this, but man, like, God is merciful, brother. And it's hard. Because, like, I don't know how. You know, like, I look at my life and I guess, like, God is most merciful. I just asked him, like, I didn't even know how to call on him, you know, because I had never looked towards him. And I knew that I hadn't been a good person, man. And I just asked him, like, let me know that you're real. Let me know, guide me to something that is real. Because I'm gonna lose myself, you know, I'm gonna lose myself here where I am. The next day, I'm into boxing, right? I do Muay Thai, and I saw Khabib fight his last fight, right? And something really caught my attention when at the end of his fight, he would always give glory to God, you know? And I started like looking up because the only thing I knew about Islam was that what the West shows you. When I started hearing the recitations of the Holy Quran, like my heart was looking for something real, man. When I heard it, it would break me. That point was the point that was like I had to know more.
Sahabat rahasia Islam, itulah video reaction kali ini yang bisa saya bagikan untuk Anda semuanya. Kisah seorang pemimpin kartel terbesar diselamatkan dari kehancuran dengan adanya Islam. Masya Allah. Next, dan tunggu sahabat muslim video terbaru dan selanjutnya dari kami. Dan jangan lupa bagi sahabatku yang baru bergabung dan menemukan channel ini, mohon dukungannya dengan cara menekan tombol like dan subscribe-nya. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.